yes, it's the middle of winter, and yes, it looks nasty outside. I've got a bunch of tips for you of things that I didn't do last year that I'm going to do this year. First, I'm going to get inside. Come on. All right, let's talk about RootsTech. Now, RootsTech, if you don't know, is the largest genealogy conference in the world. It is fantastic. I went last year and I made a promise to myself I would never miss a RootsTech from here on out if I could do anything about it. So this year, I am going to be, again, in Salt Lake City at the physical conference, but the conference is also held online. And I would be at RootsTech online if I couldn't be in Salt Lake City. So I hope you are too. I'm going to offer tips. Some of them are for in-person people, some of them are for virtual people, and all of them are for both of you, whether you're attending in person or not, or online. I mean, in person or online. You know what I mean. So let's get planning for RootsTech so we can make the most of this huge genealogy event and sort of the keystone of my year. The things I'm doing, I'm organizing by week. So I hope this makes sense to you. It's so I don't do the thing that I always do, which is like scramble the weekend before. Now that we're like over a month out, we're 7 weeks out from RootsTech at this point or so, I want to make sure I'm doing these things, that my registration's finalized. So if you want to register for the conference, you go on to rootstech.org. The link is in the description if you don't have it. And go ahead and register. You can pick virtual or in person from the same spot. You use your Family Search login. So if you have a Family Search account, you're going to use that. And it'll just walk you through. It's very simple. There's a small fee to attend in person. It is free to attend online. And registering now gets you on the official list, so you'll get all the updates. The next thing I'm doing is making sure my hotel is booked and I have the hotel that I want. The hotels closest to the Salt Palace Convention Center are the Radisson and the Hyatt Regency. So those are both kind of attached or just a short walk outside to get there. To the, between the hotel and the conference. If you want something that's close, just a short walk, that would be the Marriott across the street and the Hilton that's down the street. And then after that, there's a whole bunch of hotels. The sooner you book, the cheaper the rate. It doesn't get any cheaper, unfortunately, getting closer to the event. Now, the next thing I'm doing is creating my packing list. I want to start that list now so I don't forget anything, and then I can just check it off. I have a standard list on my phone that I kind of regurgitate, but the one thing that I always forget with RootsTech, I did last year and I won't this year, is a reusable water bottle, because they have water filling stations by the bathrooms, which is great. I don't have to pay for water that way. And then lots of chargers. So I lost one of my chargers last year. I don't want to do that again. So I want to make sure I have doubles in terms of my chargers. Now, if you're wondering, what do people wear to RootsTech? Well, they wear something like I'm wearing right now. So something comfortable, semi-casual, business casual, Docker type pants, skirts, anything but your formal evening gown or a bathing suit, I think would be acceptable at RootsTech. And anyway, other thing I'm going to prepare is my papers to bring for research at the Family Search Library. The Family Search Library, as any genealogist knows, is kind of the home base of Family Search. So that library is about a block and a half from the Salt Palace. They'll have little shuttles that you can take back and forth. The library is open extended hours around the conference. So I'm bringing my list of things I want to research that I can only research there. And of course, taking my photo out in front of the library. That's been a little bit of a tradition. Number 5, when I'm thinking of these things on my list, I'm going to make a custom t-shirt. So my friend Janet made this awesome t-shirt with the surnames of her family on the back. And it was so cool because I was like, McWilliams, wait, I know someone who's related to a McWilliams. And it was a great way to just strike up a conversation with people around who you're related to. So I'm going to make one of these, and I have a link in the description if you want to try to make one too. All right, now that I'm getting closer to the conference, it's like closer to 3 weeks out or so, these are the things I put on my list. I'm going to preview the sessions that I'm interested in seeing. RootsTech, both the app on the phone, there's a RootsTech mobile app that you can download on your phone, and RootsTech, the website, offer little previews of all the classes. I'm going to go through those for myself and make sure I have a list of who it is I want to see and start adding those to my RootsTech schedule. It's a really handy way to make a priority plan of what I want to do. The other thing on the app is there's workshops. Workshops are longer, extended, hands-on experiences, and they're very limited in size. So any of those of interest, those need to be booked, the sooner rather than later, because those will fill up. The other thing I'm going to do at this 3-week out period is research the vendors that are going to be there. The list of exhibitors is on the RootsTech website and again in the mobile app. And I want to make my list of vendors that I'm prioritizing seeing. Everybody has new products, and last year, and I'm expecting it to be even more the case this year, there'll be more people with AI, artificial intelligence built into their products, and I definitely want to check those out to see if they're of interest to me. The next thing I'm going to start doing is connecting through the relatives at RootsTech. So as I'm recording this right now, I believe it's January 8th, the Relatives at RootsTech app is not up yet, but it will be up and available for people, as well as the way to connect with other attendees of the conference. So I want to start doing that about 3 weeks out, again, because I don't want to wait till the last minute and trip myself up and with too much stuff to do and then miss out on meeting the people that I want to meet and making new friends. And then the last thing I'm going to make sure to do in terms of the making new friends is make a list of speakers that I want to make sure to meet. So there's always a group of people that are speaking and educating around genealogy that I only know from being online, right? I just know them online. I only know them from here up, right? I don't know them in 3 dimensions. I don't know how tall they are or, anything. Anyway, I want to make sure that I meet those people and thank them for the education that they've given me throughout the year and just get to shake their hand. So I make a list of those people, and I know it sounds kind of geeky, but I want to make sure that I don't miss anybody in the rush and hustle bustle of the conference. All right, now I am 2 weeks out from the conference, and here are the things on my list. I'm working my way through my list of what I want to make sure I do leading up to the RootsTech. This is the time that I make sure my logistics and my self-care are all taken care of. I'm going through and double confirming my hotel flight, my hotel reservation, and then how I'm getting from the airport to the hotel. One of the things that's available is the UTA, the public transportation, has a tram that runs from the airport to the downtown area where the hotel and the conference is. And it's just $2. It's crazy. I mean, it's so cheap. So you can hop on, like I said, right outside of baggage claim. And then it takes 20 minutes to get right downtown. So I just want to make sure that's running again still and nothing has changed. That'll be my form of transportation because it's just so inexpensive and easy to do. And then I'm right at my hotel. What I'm going to be doing is testing all my gear. I mentioned this phone a dozen times, but this is an essential thing for me, as well as my laptop and my iPad. If I'm bringing those with me, I want to make sure that I have done the backups of what's on there, but also the software updates. And then, as I mentioned before, bring a second set of cables because I have a habit of losing cables and I want to be able to charge as I'm going throughout the day. The next thing I'm doing in terms of my self-care for sure is upping my steps and my walking. Last year at RootsTech, I believe I walked 6 miles a day. I know that sounds crazy, but the Salt Palace is a huge convention center and the distance from the keynotes to the sessions can be quite long because where the sessions are, it's 3 stories and the keynotes are on the ground floor. So it's a lot of walking, even with the escalators and everything. I'm going to be walking on my treadmill, walking in the mall, walking outside to get my steps up. If mobility is an issue for you, they do have scooters for sure. You can rent those, but you just need to do it ahead of time so they can make sure that they have it there for you on site. Also, in terms of self-care, I'm going to be planning my places to eat. I love eating. I love going to new restaurants. The ones I ate at last year, I highly recommend. So those were Siegfried's Delicatessen. They had authentic German food and a small grocery store with things imported from Germany. It was really, really fun to eat at. And I think half the conference was there the day I went. The Blue Iguana is another fun restaurant. It has really funky decor inside. It's super cool to inside to eat in. And the food is amazing Mexican cuisine. The other place I ate that I really enjoyed was Squatter's Pub. It's also Salt Lake Brewing Company. They have all the American comfort food that I ever could have wanted when I'm really tired. That's the food I always go for. Now, on my list then for the last week leading up to RootsTech is all the packing stuff. I want to make sure this year to pack smart. The one thing I did last year that I regret is I brought a full suitcase with me to RootsTech. This year, I want to bring a suitcase that's a fourth to a third empty. So I have room for all the things that I pick up at RootsTech. Vendors will be handing out freebies. I'll be sure to get a t-shirt or two. There'll be books. I always end up with books. How do I always end up with books? Books always come back with me from a conference. So I want to make sure to have room for all those things in my suitcase. The other thing I'll be doing the week before is, of course, checking the weather to make sure I have all the clothes that I want to bring. The RootsTech, the conference, has a coat check. So I know this year, I didn't know this last year, that I can wear my winter coat, my thick winter coat, which will protect me from any possible weather in Salt Lake. And I can check it in with the free coat check and then pick it up at the end of the day. Last year, I was doing some weird things with layers of sweaters, and I totally didn't need to do that. I could just dress like a normal person. I also want to make sure I'm downloading all the handouts for the classes, all the syllabi, so that I have them to refer to while I'm in the class. And now let's just imagine we all made it to Salt Lake City, or it's the day before the conference and we're at home. These are the things to get ready to do before the big day comes. First is to double check the things going on the next day. So the night before, I'm going to double check that the sessions I'm planning to go to are still going on, that I know when and where they're happening. I'm going to make sure that I have that handout or the syllabus for the session. And then I'm going to also hydrate, rest, have fun, relax. I don't want to be rushing into things the day before the conference. This is why I'm doing all this pre-planning and planning up ahead. If for anyone that is in Salt Lake, a couple fun things that you can do besides the Family Search Library. I know every genealogist will be there, but there is also some fun historical sites. One that I enjoyed last year was the Utah State Capitol building. The architecture of it is fabulous, so there's that, but it also has a bunch of historical exhibits on the first floor, and there's a great view of the city. So if you have time to take the bus or the lift up there, it's great. It's really, really fun to do. The other two things I'll be doing before the conference is to preview the actual venue. So I want to make sure to go to the Salt Palace, know and walk around, know where the bathrooms are, know where the keynotes are, know where my classes are. So I'm not scrambling the day of the conference to find myself around. But even if I was scrambling, there's lots of volunteers there to help, and they're really, really kind people. So I asked them a ton of questions last year and always got a great answer. The other thing I'll be doing is buying a RootsTech swag that I want to remember RootsTech. This is for sale online as well as at the conference. They do run out of sizes and actual items too. So I want to make sure to check out what's there, get the size of the shirt I want. I'll make my own little RootsTech t-shirt collection for sure. Last year, I also picked up stickers. So they have a little sticker for $1 or $2 for the RootsTech of that year. And then the last thing I'm going to ask that you do, and I'll be doing it too, is to share updates and tips in the comments for what's going on with the conference. As I said at the beginning of this video, I'm recording this January 8th. And we're 60 days out from the conference or so there's going to be a lot of announcements and a lot of changes. But I wanted to put this video out for all the folks that are early planners or nervous or, want to make sure they get RootsTech right. So this video is for you. I tend to be one of those people myself. I have to pre-plan before the plan, and then I'm still scrambling at the last minute. So I don't know what that is. That's some sort of thing. I do hope I see you at RootsTech, either at the Salt Palace or online. I will be there at the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City. If you're there, please say hi. I'll be happy to see you. And I hope that you have safe travels making it to the conference. And if you are doing RootsTech at home, I hope your internet stays strong the entire time. No dropouts. This is Denise Allen. Subscribe and like this video. We'll be doing more RootsTech updates as we get closer to the conference.